Blog Talk Radio.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Superhero Academy. This is your host, Crossfire the Crusader, and this week I have with us our visiting professor, the lovely Purrkayla. Celebrity, hi, Purrkayla.
Oh, thank you. It's awesome to be here. I'm so honored that you asked me to be on the show.
Definitely, it's our honor to have you. I also have, and sir, I am terrible with names again on this one. Would you introduce yourself again?
Oh, certainly. This is Jedi Cole Houston, good friend of Purrkayla.
All right. And I have another caller. This is an unknown caller, and I'm going to give it a shot. Who have I got? Area code 111. Hello, unknown number. Who have I got?
Oh, is that me?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah, well, it's Dr. CGI.
That would be Dr. CGI. He was a villain in the Online Who Wants to Be a Superhero show. Look at my guys representing. I'm so proud of them.
Well, I'm tickled pink. You brought a whole entourage with you today. That's a lot of fun.
That's right. I brought a hero and a villain. We're just perfect now.
Oh, definitely. We've got about 30 minutes here, and I want to get right into the meat of things before we run out of time. And Purrkayla, just tell us a little bit about yourself. I first met Purrkayla when we both auditioned for the second season of Who Wants to Be a Superhero, and we met through the sci-fi message boards, and we conversed back and forth through MySpace and through Facebook and through the message boards and such like that for, going on 3 or 4 years now. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, the auditions for season 2 of Who Wants to Be a Superhero were held the ones in Dallas were held in February of 2007. And I showed up and tried out and just had an absolute blast with it. I didn't get picked up for the show. I still love Stan Lee. He's just so awesome. But I did get picked up for conventions, and Jedi Cole, who you have on the one of the lines, gave me my first start, actually, at an Apotex swap meet that he was in charge of. And I guess he's responsible for letting the cat out of the bag, so to speak.
Oh, my.
Oh,
it was my responsibility.
So, Purrkayla, well, of course, a lot of the people we have on here, the real-life superhero community, are people that are actually hardcore out there on the street, body armor type doing stuff. We have a lot of charity heroes, such like that. Your character, like mine, was created as a fictional character. What's the backstory on Purrkayla?
To keep it short, Purrkayla was a shapeshifter from the planet Katonia. I created her to audition for Who Wants to Be a Superhero. I have 5 grandchildren, and they thought it was kind of cool. And I wanted to show them that, you should always follow your dreams. You're never too young or too old to go for what you want in life. And I just did it for fun. And 4 years later, I'm still Purrkayla. Right now, I just kicked off cons with AllCon this past weekend, where they had me face painting for pharaohs and for my charity Kitty Code Cat Rescue. And I do about 1 con a month. I have 3 more cons that I'm face painting at. and the other towns I go and talk to children and pose for pictures and just represent, superheroes. And it's just so much fun. It's an awesome time.
Well, tell us a little bit about face painting for ferals. Now, my listeners know I say that from time to time, if you want to be a real-life superhero, the key is to find something that needs done and do something about it. Find a need and fill that need. And you found a need, and you're filling it now. I grew up on a farm, so I know how feral cats can be an issue. You don't want to hurt the living creature, but they can be a real destructive force. If you raise other animals, chickens and such like that. We had to deal with feral cats. What exactly does face painting for ferals? It's pretty self-explanatory. What exactly, from the point where you start raising the money to what does the money go to? Tell us all about the program.
Okay. Well, anyone who knows the Purrkayla character knows that I do my face up with face paint in a cat-like theme. I'm owned by 9 cats. 8 of them were feral. The other one we adopted from the SPCA, and she was previously abused. I have feral cats in my backyard. A feral cat basically is a stray or wild cat. Mostly when they're out there and they have kittens, and after litter after litter, you actually get to a cat that's never really had human companionship, so they're wild. If the shelters take them, they will more than likely euthanize them because they are so wild, they normally can't be placed in your average home. So what Kittyco does is they do the humane trapping, neuter, spay, and release. This cuts down the unwanted litters of the feral cats while keeping the feral cat community intact under the watchful eye of loving caregivers. I happen to be a caregiver to the ferals in my backyard, put food and water out there for them. About 3 months ago, I had a little guy fall at my feet. The vet didn't know if he was going to make it through the night, took him into the vet, and ended up having him here for about 2.5 months in a cage. He was so sick, he needed hourly medication, and now that he's back on his feet, he's just decided to stay in the house and he's one of my 9. So when I started doing the cons, I guess it was middle of last year, a little girl came up to me, and she said, "Would you please paint me to look like Spider-Man?" And I just laughed, and I said, "Oh, honey, I don't do face painting." And she got really sad. I cannot have a sad child. So I went out and got my face paint, took her into a snack room at the convention, and painted her face. And it just went from there. I got requests to come and do face painting at the conventions. I don't like taking money for being a superhero. I just don't like that. So I came up with face painting for ferals. Every face that I paint is free. I will never charge a child to paint their face. If the parents with them want to make a donation, of course they are accepted. 100% of every donation made at my table goes to Kittyco Cat Rescue. I pay for all my product. I pay for all the prizes. This last weekend at Alcon, we did a raffle. Some of the dealers, Beanpot Toys and an artist by the name of Halo, donated items for the raffle. Jedi Cole, who you have on the phone, also donated some items for the raffle. We sold raffle tickets at $1 each. All the donations made off the raffle tickets went to Kittyco Cat Rescue. And they're amazing people. They are a totally non-profit, no-kill organization, and they are just dedicated to helping the stray and feral cats.
Well, just, I don't know if you keep track of numbers. Since you've been doing this, about how many feral cats have you been able to help, to care for, whatever, provide service through this program? Do you have any idea?
Well, let's see. There's different amounts that can be used. Like for $25, will pay a week of antibiotic treatment. For a cat, $20 will pay for a feline leukemia. $75 pays for a male cat to be neutered. $95 for a female cat to be spayed. For Kittyco, they have a different, what do I want to say? A different charge, I guess. I don't like using the word charge, but payment schedule for what the cat needs. And what I've done is last November raised $234 face painting for Kittyco, and at Alcon we raised $172.37 for Kittyco. So they could take that money and they put it to their neutering, spaying of the cats, the antibiotic treatments. They also do, the animal traps, and they're just amazing people. They have a genuine love for what they're doing. I went out to their warehouse sale the day after Thanksgiving last year, and they're just amazing people. I'm so proud to do whatever I can just to help them. I'm so honored that they, picked up Purrkayla as their cat.
It's really awesome. I was thinking about, the show today, and, the past few shows, we've had some pretty intense shows. 2 weeks ago, we talked about the Kitty Genovese murder. Last week, we talked about the real-life St. Patrick. In the past few months, we've talked about Martin Luther King Jr. We talked about Rosa Parks. We talked about the real-life Santa Claus, the real-life St. Valentine. And we've interviewed some people that's doing some pretty intense stuff. And I looked at, today seems like a rather a light show compared to some of what we're doing. But then, again, it addresses the range of difference amongst the people of our community, and the difference between us and just your standard cosplayers. We are out there in costume because it's fun. We find ways to take that costume and use that symbology of a superhero to make a difference. And a funny thing that I thought of was the old nursery rhyme about the little girl who was trying to make the cat the batter for the cake, and she had the bitter butter, and she had to put some bitter butter in the batter to make it better, And I'm thinking, you find a problem and you pour some bitter butter all over it, and you make it better. I mean, in your case, it was feral cats. In my case, it was a young girl with cancer, or the need for a good radio show amongst the superhero community, or my pet cause, Heart Heroes, which I'll go into my commercial real quick while I've got it set up. Those of you that are followers of the Note, we are doing a promotion. We ask every week the people to donate to Heart Heroes, which they donate capes to children with congenital heart disease. The capes cost about $25 a piece. And what that does is it helps these kids find their inner heroes so they can face the multiple surgeries and medical treatments they have. Remember the lady that spoke with us about Heart Heroes told us about her son, how he will not go to the doctor until he has his cape because he has to face this monster that's trying to kill him. And we are encouraging the people of this community to listen. Oh, yeah, it was. I couldn't swallow the lump in my throat when she was telling these stories. But we're encouraging the people from this community to just make a donation, whether it's 1 cape for the year or 6 capes for the year or whatever you can, $25 per cape, to Heart Heroes. You can find the information on my show page. And we were shooting for a goal of 600 capes this year. They finished out 2010 with 200 capes that they had given out in a year and a waiting list of 200. So based on that, we figured another 400 are going to be needed for this year, plus the 200 from last year, and we are trying to do everything we can to help them meet their goal. Because just to help these kids, just with this one disease, I can't imagine there's just so much more I'd love to see them spread out and be able to help kids with cancer, like the young girl that I helped raise the money for, or so many other young children that are facing such difficulties because of their health. And so, if you're listening, again, this is Crossfire's Pet Cause. Please take the time, see what you can do. We've had some people, one lady designated a part of her business that so much of her sales is going to go towards Heart Heroes. Other people have done yard sales and fundraisers, just whatever you can. 25 here, 25 there. You change a life for a young kid by helping him find his inner hero. So let's make a difference in that. And for Kayla, like you said, $25, you mentioned how much they can do. It doesn't seem like much when you go buy groceries or something, but you realize that you could change the world $1 at a time. And
right, and that's what the people at the conventions do. They change. People don't have to go out and shoot and exterminate feral cats. They don't have to, which is just inhumane. They don't have to take the cats to the shelters and have them euthanized. It's not, fair to the cats. It's not fair to the shelters or the shelter workers that have to do that. It's not fair to the communities. The neighborhoods, the feral cats keep down the mice and rat population.
Yeah.
But in a neighborhood like mine in Arlington, Texas, where right down from a mall, it's not rural, it's a very big community, and people have they think that if they toss a cat outside that's not spayed or neutered, that they will fend for themselves. But they don't. They can't fend for themselves. So the best thing you could do is, if you're going to have an outside cat, spay or neuter them before you put them outside. If you have feral cats in your community, get in touch with Kitty Code, kittycode.org. And if you're in the Texas area, they're out of Dallas, Texas. Or get in touch with, there's other organizations out there. Kitty Code could probably put you in touch with an organization in your own area. There's so many organizations out there to help the feral cats. It's not their fault that they're wild. They shouldn't be exterminated, shot at. They shouldn't be killed. They should be humanely trapped, neutered, spayed, and released. There's so many loving caregivers out there who want to provide food and water for these cats. We know their value in the community.
Oh yeah. When I was younger, like a young teenager, I can remember catching the wild cats that would be tossed out around our neighbor's house, and we would take them and put them in a chicken cage or something. We had to carry them in a rabbit cage and take them to a farm. Somebody had a barn that had mice in their hay barn or whatever, and turn them loose in there. They would feed them and take care of them and keep the mice down. They were tickled pink to get them, and of course, the people raising the chickens, they were glad they didn't have them there. And you look at it. And you look at a feral cat, and it's just as cute as any kitten. Other kitten, any tame kitten, you just have to realize that they don't bite the snot out of you. And I've been bit a few times. So
they will go calico on you. Yes, they will go calico on you.
They go plaid on you. I mean, I've got another caller here. He said 504. 504. You're on Superhero Academy. I've lost him. Eric said 504, try calling in again. I had lost you there. I'm not sure what happened. Well, tell me, Purrkayla, in the process of doing this, of this journey you've been taking, what's some of the more interesting things that have happened? Conversations, life-changing moments between you and the people you're interacting with, or just what are some of the more powerful things you've seen happen as you've taken Purrkayla to beyond the level of just a character for a show into a real superhero that's out here doing something to make the world a better place?
Well, the one thing, Jedi Cole has been around Purrkayla when I've been face painting, and he's seen firsthand, the expressions and that on the kids, and the way they develop into their hero when they look into the mirror. Is he still there?
I am here.
Yeah, I believe so.
And yes, I have. It is really nice to see, in addition to helping with the recent addition of the face painting for ferals, the face painting in general has it's amazing to watch these kids just light up and really, it makes their whole day there at the convention.
I could verify that. As a professional clown before I became Crossfire, and even now I've just started getting my clown business going again, which of course is going to support my Crossfire habit. But when you address the child, whether it's take time to face paint, to make a balloon animal, do a magic trick, it means something to them because they live in a world where everybody talks about them in front of them. And for a moment there, you've got somebody who is larger than life, whether it's Gizmo the Clown, whether it's Crossfire the Crusader, whether it's Purrkayla, whether it's Captain Banana, whatever, standing in front of them, and this larger-than-life person looks at them, and they are suddenly the focus of attention. And they're getting their face painted. They can be Spider-Man. they're getting a balloon animal so they can take their little talking parrot toy home with them. Whatever it is, it becomes important to them, and they remember that. It sticks with them. I went to Little Rock Comic Convention shortly after I auditioned for Crossfire, and Little Rock Comic Convention is a small swap meet. I went back about 6 months later, and two of the kids ran up and they knew who I was. And they goes, "This is Crossfire." They remembered me, and I'm like, well, I didn't think I made that much of an impression, but it does, and I see that.
It really does. It means a lot to the children. I have one little girl that comes up to me at every con. I've been doing the face painting for about a year and a half, but I've been doing the cons for 4 years. And she'll come up and sit in my chair and just look at me and smile because she knows that out of all the kids I know, she gets the blue cat face, the blue and white cat face. And she just did Superhero Sunday this past Sunday at AllCon, and she won in her division as the blue Chinese cat, a character she created on her own. And she had quite a story about it, quite a background. And it meant a lot to her because I looked at her and she just sat there smiling, and I was like, oh, okay, you're the blue and white cat. So it means a lot to them. Also, my face painting board used to have just standard pictures on it of the designs, and now it has all the children's faces because they want to be on there. They want to be part of that. So I actually have to make a bigger board because now I have to include the blue and white cat because I got that request this past weekend. And along with the face painting, I do get, talk with them about superheroes. I asked one little girl at the Apotec swap meet, actually, I asked her if she was a superhero. She said yes. And I said, what's your name? And she said, Mysterious Girl. And I just laughed and I said, what are your powers? She said, being mysterious. So it just brings out their imagination. It's amazing. I also talk to children about the superhero powers that they do have. When they know not to get in the car with strangers, something inside tells them that's their spider sense tingling. When they use their imagination, the Green Lantern's ring was only limited by his imagination. So when that child gets in that chair and looks in the mirror and starts giving me the Spider-Man web-slinging pose or telling me about the character she created or, going on like that, it's just so wonderful to me. It's just amazing. I'm so honored to be there with the kids. They're just amazing.
And so they carry away that sense of inner strength, the inner hero that they need. It comes back to them at the times they really need it to overcome adversity. Maybe they're taking a test and they're scared, or they can become Mysterious Girl and beat the test, And they also carry away what you're teaching them about, how to change the world. Maybe they will come up somewhere down the road and they'll say, there's feral cats in the grandma's yard, and Grandpa's going to do something about the cats. Well, Grandpa, let's trap these cats. Let's trap them the right way. And Purrkayla says, this is what you should do, and they'll remember that. Who knows?
Well, what I love, too, is I also get a lot of questions, cat-related questions about the physical condition of their cat. One woman's cat had asthma. I get a lot of cat-related questions. So it's really cute to me. I don't know. I walk into a hometown con, and I'm greeted with such warmth that it just makes me want to do this. I mean, I'll probably be 98 years old and have to change from Purrkayla to Scooter Cat and be on an electric scooter, but I will still be at these cons because the children want me there, and that's just an amazing feeling. And to get to help Kittyco Cat Rescue as part of that, I can't even express the feeling that it gives you.
Definitely. I know, when you were telling me about what you've been doing, I just was so excited to want to hear about, what exactly was going on with Purrkayla, because it's such a fun thing. And I know you as a person through the boards and such like that, and got to experience being friends with you. And as close as we are, Hot Springs down to Dallas, there's no reason we shouldn't be at the same time sometime. But, just trying to get my life back into a position where I can travel to some of these. I'm hoping to go to the Superman Festival this year, and actually, when we get down there, I'll be doing a live broadcast from the Superman Festival if all works out. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I would love a chance to cross paths there and meet up at a con and stuff like that. And who knows, maybe you can paint my face up. Not that that's ever happened.
I can't improve on perfection.
Well, I've got about 4 minutes left, Purrkayla. If there's anything else you want to say real quick, just wrap up, maybe share the website for your organization you're working with, Kitty Co.
Well, I want to thank Jedi Cole and Dr. CGI for being on the phone because they are two of the amazing friends in my life, and they've always been here for me, so they're just amazing people. kittyco.org is Kitty Co Cat Rescue's website. Doesn't matter where you live. If you're in California, Vegas, Ohio, you want to make a donation to Kitty Co, they've got it online. You can just PayPal your donation. My website is Purrkayla.com. I've listed every event that I'll be at, the ones I'll be face painting at, and the ones that I'll just be at walking around. If you're in the area, please come see me. I'll also be at San Diego Comic-Con this year, hanging with Dr. CGI.
Are you going to be part of the Hope 2011 then at San Diego Comic-Con?
I was checking that out on the board.
You should check it out with
Razorhawk. Board. Right?
Check with Razorhawk through Hero Gear. He is the one that's heading that up, and that's going to be a big push, and I'm sure he would love to have your help on that. That would be very cool.
And I do want to let people know in the Dallas area, Dallas Comic-Con, May 21st, I want to say, but I'm going to double check real quick.
I believe that's right.
While I'm getting this up. And my apologies, May 21st and 22nd at the Irving Convention Center in Irving, Texas. Stan Lee, father of all superheroes. Without him, there would not be a Purrkayla. We'll be there. So, if you're in the Dallas, Irving area,
cool. Come
out. I'm easy to spot. Bum, leopard humor. It's all I have. I hope to run into everybody.
We're gonna run out of time. It'll shut us off here. So I want to thank you for being on the show. And farther down the road, hopefully we have you back here again if things progress. Those of you that are regular listeners, be with us next week. We're going to have Artista Roy of Team Justice, who's going to be sharing with us a fun show on what should you put on the real-life superhero's utility belt. The following week, we got Danger Woman. This will be an exciting show like never before. Danger Woman will talk to us about disability activism. The next week, we get a little bit more down and dirty with Urban Avenger of the Extreme Justice League, talking about his hunt for the Chula Vista Groper and other exciting things going on out there. And then on the 24th of April, we're having a roundtable discussion about my personal favorite hero. We'll be talking about Jesus Christ and what Easter's all about as far as us Christians. So I've got several of the Christian-themed superheroes that are going to be joining me for that Sunday as well. And much more coming on down the road. Patriot, Stormbringer, Simmer, Crimson Fist, Geist, and much, much more coming up in the next quarter. Purrkayla, I want to thank you for joining us. Everybody that's here, the chat room, there's so many people. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I've got to go ahead and hit up our theme. Purrkayla, thank you for being here. And everybody for Superhero Academy, this is Crossfire the Crusader. See you next week.
We are the music makers. And
long song.
We're men in light. We roam around the forest looking for light. We're men in time. We run from the rich and give to the poor, that's right. We may look like cities, but what would you say, or else we'll put out your light. We're men in light. Always on guard, defending the people's rights. We're men.